In a world filled with distractions and endless comparisons, it's easy to lose sight of what really matters yourself. Too often, people become entangled in the lives of others, measuring their progress, happiness, and success against standards that were never meant for them. But the truth is, the only person you need to focus on is yourself. The energy you spend worrying about what others are doing or thinking could be invested into your own growth, happiness, and fulfillment. You are your biggest project, and the sooner you realize this, the closer you'll be to living the life you truly desire. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean being selfish or disregarding others. It means understanding that your journey is unique. The goals, dreams, and challenges you face are different from anyone else's, and comparing yourself to others only clouds your path. It is easy to scroll through social media, see someone's achievements, and feel inadequate, but what you often don't see is the struggle behind those achievements. Everyone is fighting a battle you don't know about, and the image they project is often just a highlight reel. Comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight moments will only lead to frustration and unhappiness. When you focus on others, you give away your power. You allow their opinions, expectations, and actions to dictate how you feel and what you do. But you don't need anyone's validation to live a meaningful life. Chasing approval is a never-ending game, and every time you adjust yourself to fit someone else's expectations, you move further away from your authentic self. The only person you owe anything to is yourself. Your happiness, growth, and dreams should be at the forefront of everything you do. Once you embrace that truth, life becomes more fulfilling because you stop seeking outside confirmation of your worth. The most important relationship you will ever have is with yourself. If you don't nurture that relationship, it will show in every other aspect of your life. When you focus inward, you begin to understand your values, passions, and purpose. You learn what drives you and what doesn't. You realize what kind of person you want to be, what you need to improve, and what you should let go of. Self-reflection becomes a powerful tool, allowing you to identify limiting beliefs and habits that have been holding you back. It gives you the clarity to set boundaries that protect your energy and prioritize what truly matters. Personal growth requires attention and care, just like any relationship. By focusing on yourself, you build habits that serve you. You learn to appreciate the small victories and progress, even when no one else notices. Every step you take toward your goals, no matter how small, matters. Growth isn't always visible from the outside, and not every win will be celebrated by others, but that's okay. You don't need applause to know you're moving in the right direction. It's enough to know that you're doing your best, and that's all anyone can ask of you. Life is a series of seasons, and every person you meet is going through their own. Some are in a season of harvest, where everything seems to be falling into place, while others are in a season of planting, working hard with little visible reward. When you focus on others, you may envy their harvest season, not realizing that you are in your own planting phase. Comparing yourself to someone else who is in a different part of their journey is not only unfair to yourself, but also unproductive. Your journey has its own timeline, and as long as you keep moving forward, you'll eventually reach your destination. Moreover, focusing on yourself allows you to build resilience. Life is full of challenges, and not every plan will go as expected. When you focus on others, setbacks feel more overwhelming because you measure your failures against their successes. But when you focus on your own journey, you develop the mindset to learn from failures instead of being discouraged by them. You start to understand that every setback is an opportunity to grow, and every challenge is a chance to become stronger. The more you focus on your own progress, the less room you leave for self-doubt to creep in. Happiness is an inside job, and the more you look for it in others, the more it eludes you. External achievements and social recognition may bring temporary satisfaction, but lasting happiness comes from living a life aligned with your values. It comes from knowing that you are becoming the best version of yourself every day, regardless of what anyone else is doing. When you stop chasing other people's definitions of success and create your own, you become free. Free from the burden of comparison, free from the need to prove yourself, and free to live life on your terms. The beauty of focusing on yourself is that it opens doors to possibilities you never imagined. When you stop worrying about what others think, you begin to take risks that align with your dreams. You no longer hold back out of fear of judgment or rejection. Instead, you embrace opportunities with confidence, knowing that success is not about being better than someone else, it's about being better than you were yesterday. Progress becomes your only competition, and that is a race you can always win. Focusing on yourself also allows you to attract the right people into your life. When you live authentically and pursue your own goals, you naturally draw people who resonate with your values and energy. These are the people who will support and uplift you, not because you meet their expectations, but because they see and appreciate who you truly are. Building meaningful connections becomes easier because you are no longer pretending to be someone you're not. You surround yourself with people who celebrate your progress and encourage your growth, not those who drain your energy with constant comparisons. Ultimately, focusing on yourself gives you peace. The world is noisy, and everyone seems to have an opinion about how you should live. But when you learn to silence that noise and listen to yourself, life becomes simpler. You stop worrying about keeping up with trends, impressing others, or meeting arbitrary deadlines. You realize that the only person you need to impress is the one you see in the mirror. Every day becomes an opportunity to grow, learn, and become more of who you were meant to be. Your time and energy are valuable, and how you use them determines the quality of your life. Spend them wisely, not by chasing after others, but by investing in yourself. There is no greater reward than knowing that you are doing your best to become the person you were meant to be. Focus on your journey, trust the process, and let go of the need to compare. In the end, the only person you need to compete with is the person you were yesterday. Keep moving forward, and everything else will fall into place. And as you keep moving forward, you begin to notice subtle shifts in your mindset and emotions. The weight of comparison starts to lift, and a sense of clarity emerges. You stop feeling the need to rush your progress or validate your worth by how quickly things happen. Instead, you embrace patience, knowing that meaningful growth takes time. The seeds you plant today won't bloom overnight, but with consistent effort, they will flourish. You start to enjoy the process rather than obsess over the outcome. And this shift brings peace that others might not understand, but that's okay because this journey is yours alone. The world will always have distractions, opinions, and noise, but when you're grounded in yourself, those distractions lose their power over you. The things that used to bother you, a critical comment, someone else's success, or the fear of being left behind, no longer carry the same weight. You've realized that none of these things define you. What defines you is how you treat yourself, how you show up every day, and how committed you are to becoming better than the version of you from the day before. That is where true strength lies, in focusing inward and trusting yourself, even when things feel uncertain. Focusing on yourself also teaches you the art of self-compassion. There will be days when you feel off track, when progress seems slow, or when life throws unexpected challenges your way. But instead of criticizing yourself for not being perfect, you learn to extend kindness to yourself. You understand that setbacks are a part of growth, not signs of failure. Just as you wouldn't criticize a plant for taking time to grow, you begin to realize that your own journey deserves the same patience and care. You no longer push yourself to the brink trying to meet someone else's timeline. You honor your pace, knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, is still progress. And as your focus on yourself deepens, something beautiful happens. Your confidence grows. You become more comfortable in your own skin, more assured of your abilities, and more aligned with your purpose. This confidence isn't loud or boastful, it's quiet and steady. It doesn't come from being the best in the room, but from knowing that you are enough, just as you are. When you stop competing with others, you start competing with yourself in healthy ways. Each day becomes an opportunity to improve, not because you feel lacking, but because growth is a natural part of life. You also start setting healthier boundaries, both with yourself and with others. When you focus too much on others, it's easy to spread yourself thin, saying yes to things that drain your energy or trying to meet everyone's expectations. But as you shift your attention inward, you become more selective with your time and energy. You realize that not every invitation requires a yes, and not every opinion deserves your attention. Boundaries are not about shutting people out, but about protecting your peace and prioritizing what matters most to you. And when you prioritize yourself, you show others how to treat you with respect and consideration. The more you focus on yourself, the more you realize that happiness isn't found in things or in external validation. It's found in the quiet moments in the morning sunlight filtering through your window, in a deep breath after a long day, or in the satisfaction of knowing you kept a promise to yourself. These moments remind you that happiness is not a destination, but a state of being that you cultivate within. It's not something you chase. It's something you create by aligning your actions with your values and living authentically. Life will continue to present challenges, and there will always be people who seem further ahead or more successful. But that no longer intimidates you. You've realized that someone else's success doesn't diminish your own. There is room for everyone to shine, and the success of others can inspire rather than discourage you. You no longer view life as a race, but as a journey where everyone moves at their own pace. You cheer for others without losing focus on your own path, knowing that their achievements don't take anything away from yours. And as you walk this path of self-focus, you begin to notice that opportunities start to align with you naturally. When you are true to yourself, the right doors open. You attract people, experiences, and circumstances that resonate with your energy. It's not magic, it's the result of living in alignment with who you are and what you want. When you stop trying to be what others expect, you create space for what's meant for you to enter your life. Opportunities that once felt out of reach now feel possible because you are finally ready to receive them. This journey isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about waking up every day and choosing to show up for yourself, even when it's hard. It's about trusting that you are exactly where you need to be and that everything unfolding in your life is part of your unique story. There will be ups and downs, but through it all, you remain committed to yourself. You learn to embrace the unknown, knowing that every experience, whether good or bad, is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. In the end, the most important thing is not what others think of you, but how you think of yourself. When you focus on yourself, you realize that your worth isn't determined by achievements, opinions, or comparisons. It's intrinsic. You are worthy simply because you exist, and nothing can change that. This understanding frees you from the need to prove yourself. You no longer seek validation because you know, deep down, that you are enough. So, keep going, keep investing in yourself, keep setting boundaries, building habits, and pursuing goals that align with your heart. The journey of self-focus is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Because when you focus on yourself, you discover the strength, peace, and happiness that have been within you all along. And that, more than anything else, is the kind of success that truly matters. With this newfound sense of inner peace and clarity, you begin to understand that life flows more easily when you trust yourself. You no longer need to overthink every decision or seek approval before taking action. You start listening to your intuition, that quiet inner voice that always knew what was best for you, but was often drowned out by noise and doubts. Trusting yourself becomes second nature, and this trust opens doors to opportunities that align with your values and passions. You realize that the life you've always dreamed of isn't as far away as you once thought. It just required you to be aligned with yourself rather than distracted by others. And as this alignment deepens, you find joy in things you used to overlook. Achievements no longer define your happiness, the process itself does. You savor each step, appreciating the effort you put into your growth. You begin to celebrate small wins that once felt insignificant, knowing they are stepping stones to something bigger. The act of showing up for yourself every day, no matter how imperfectly, fills you with a quiet sense of fulfillment that no external praise could ever provide. You also become more resilient in the face of challenges. Obstacles that once seemed overwhelming now feel manageable because your perspective has shifted. When things don't go as planned, you no longer see it as failure. Instead, you view it as redirection, the universe nudging you toward a better path. You've learned that setbacks are a natural part of the journey, not roadblocks, but lessons in disguise. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. And with each lesson, you feel more prepared to handle whatever comes next. As your journey continues, you discover that your peace is contagious. When you focus on yourself and live authentically, you inspire others to do the same. People notice your calm demeanor, your quiet confidence, and your ability to stay grounded amidst chaos. They may ask how you remain so centered or how you navigate life without the constant pressure of comparison. And in these moments, you become a source of inspiration not because you're perfect, but because you've chosen to prioritize your growth, peace, and well-being above all else. You lead by example, showing that it's okay to take a step back from the noise and focus on yourself. This doesn't mean that life becomes effortless or free from difficulties. There will still be moments of doubt, moments when you feel like slipping back into old patterns of comparison or seeking validation. But the difference now is that you catch yourself before falling too far. You've built a solid foundation of self-awareness, and you know how to course correct when needed. You remind yourself that progress is not always linear, and that's okay. The important thing is that you keep moving forward one step at a time. And through it all, you begin to understand that success, in its truest form, is not about what you achieve, but about how you feel while pursuing your dreams. It's about living in alignment with your values, honoring your boundaries, and finding joy in your journey. Success becomes less about the destination and more about the way you choose to walk your path. You realize that you don't have to have everything figured out right now. It's enough to take each day as it comes, doing your best with what you have. By focusing on yourself, you also unlock a deeper sense of gratitude. You become grateful not just for the big moments, but for the small, everyday experiences that enrich your life. The warmth of a cup of coffee in the morning, the feeling of the sun on your face, the satisfaction of completing a task, these moments become sources of joy. Gratitude becomes a habit, and it helps you stay present in the moment instead of worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. You realize that happiness isn't something to chase. It's something you cultivate through mindful presence and appreciation for what is. As time goes on, your self-focus transforms into self-mastery. You become more in tune with your emotions, recognizing them without judgment. When you feel overwhelmed, you know when to rest. When you feel inspired, you know when to act. You no longer ignore your needs or suppress your feelings for the sake of pleasing others. This self-awareness empowers you to make decisions that align with your well-being, and it frees you from the guilt that used to accompany prioritizing yourself. You also discover that focusing on yourself doesn't mean isolating yourself from others. In fact, it enhances your relationships. When you show up authentically, you attract people who genuinely resonate with who you are. These relationships are built on mutual respect, not on comparison or competition. You learn to communicate your needs clearly and listen without judgment. The people in your life benefit from your growth, too, as you model healthy habits, boundaries, and self-love. Your presence becomes a reminder to them that it's okay to put themselves first sometimes. Ultimately, focusing on yourself is about reclaiming your power. It's about understanding that you are the creator of your life, not a passive participant waiting for things to fall into place. You realize that the only person you need to impress is yourself, and the only person you need to become better than is the version of you from yesterday. This shift in mindset liberates you. You no longer live according to other people's timelines or expectations. You walk your path at your own pace, confident that everything you need is already within you. And as you continue on this journey of self-focus, you become a living example of what it means to live authentically, peacefully, and purposefully. You inspire others, not through words alone, but through the way you live your life. And in doing so, you remind yourself every day that the greatest gift you can give the world is the fullest expression of who you truly are. So keep going, keep choosing yourself, keep showing up, learning, growing, and evolving. Your journey is yours alone, and it's beautiful in its own way. Focus on yourself, not others, because the life you are building is far too precious to be shaped by anyone but you. And as you stay committed to this path, you begin to notice how life starts to feel lighter. The burden of constantly trying to live up to someone else's expectations fades away. You're no longer chasing trends, comparing milestones, or wondering if you're doing enough because you know that you are enough. This shift from comparison to contentment allows you to appreciate your unique experiences and recognize that every challenge and triumph is part of your personal evolution. There's no need to rush, no need to catch up to anyone, because your timing is perfect for your journey. This doesn't mean you stop striving or dreaming, quite the opposite. When you focus on yourself, your goals become clearer and your ambitions more meaningful. They come from a place of authenticity rather than pressure to compete. Instead of chasing goals to impress others, you pursue what genuinely excites and fulfills you. The progress you make becomes more sustainable because it's driven by intrinsic motivation, a passion rooted in who you are, not in who the world expects you to be. In this journey of self-focus, failures and mistakes take on new meaning. They are no longer things to fear, but moments to embrace and learn from. When you stop measuring yourself against others, failures feel less like personal defeats and more like feedback. You begin to understand that setbacks are not the end of the road, but part of the process. They provide valuable insights that guide you toward better choices, deeper understanding, and new opportunities. You bounce back quicker because your self-worth is no longer tied to external outcomes. Whether you succeed or stumble, you remain grounded in the knowledge that you are growing, and that's what truly matters. As your mindset shifts, you also become more mindful of how you spend your time and energy. You realize that every moment you invest in yourself, whether through self-care, learning, or quiet reflection, is a step toward becoming the best version of yourself. You stop wasting time on things that don't align with your values or bring you closer to your goals. Activities that once drained you, like gossiping or overanalyzing other people's lives, no longer appeal. You understand now that focusing on others only distracts you from your own growth, so you choose to redirect that energy toward your personal development. There's a beauty in knowing that you can find joy even in solitude. You no longer fear being alone with your thoughts because you've cultivated a positive relationship with yourself. Time spent with yourself becomes an opportunity for growth, reflection, and restoration. You engage in activities that nourish your mind and soul, like journaling, exercising, or learning something new. In these moments of solitude, you discover parts of yourself that you didn't know existed. You begin to appreciate your own company, realizing that you don't need external validation to feel whole. As you continue to focus on yourself, you notice that your life begins to align in unexpected ways. The right people start to enter your life, not because you sought their approval, but because your energy naturally attracts them. Opportunities that reflect your passions begin to appear, not because you chase them, but because you prepared yourself to receive them. You realize that when you are true to yourself, life responds in kind. Doors open effortlessly, and what once seemed out of reach now feels within your grasp, all because you had the courage to focus on your journey rather than someone else's. This journey also teaches you the importance of gratitude for where you are now, even if you haven't reached every goal yet. You understand that life isn't just about arriving at a destination. It's about enjoying the process along the way. You take pride in the person you are becoming, knowing that every small effort contributes to the bigger picture. Each day you choose to focus on yourself, you move closer to the version of you that you aspire to be. And that's something worth celebrating, even if no one else notices. You don't need applause. The quiet satisfaction of knowing you are growing is reward enough. One of the most profound realizations you gain from this journey is that focusing on yourself empowers you to give more to others too. When your own cup is full, you can pour into others without feeling depleted. You become a better friend, partner, and family member, not because you've molded yourself to meet their expectations, but because you show up authentically. Your presence becomes more meaningful because it comes from a place of love and wholeness rather than obligation. The connections you build become deeper, more genuine, and more fulfilling. There will always be people who seem to move faster or achieve more, but that no longer stirs insecurity within you. You've come to realize that life isn't a race. It's a personal journey with unique rhythms and flows. What others achieve is not your concern. What matters is that you are moving forward at a pace that feels right for you. Some seasons may be slower than others, and that's perfectly fine. What's important is that you stay true to yourself and continue making progress, however small it may seem. Every day you make the conscious choice to focus on yourself. You free yourself from unnecessary stress and comparison. You become more patient with the process and more compassionate toward yourself. You understand that life is not about perfection, but about progress. And that progress, no matter how gradual, is worth celebrating. You've realized that the most important investment you can make is in yourself. And that investment pays dividends in ways you never imagined. So, as you walk this path, keep reminding yourself that you are exactly where you need to be. Keep believing in your ability to grow, to learn, and to become better with each passing day. Trust the process, honor your pace, and stay focused on your journey. The world may be loud, and distractions will always exist, but you now have the clarity to tune them out. Your energy is too precious to waste on things that don't serve your growth. Stay committed to yourself, knowing that the life you are building is unfolding exactly as it should. There's a beauty in knowing that you can find joy even in solitude. You no longer fear being alone with your thoughts because you've cultivated a positive relationship with yourself. Time spent with yourself becomes an opportunity for growth, reflection, and restoration. You engage in activities that nourish your mind and soul, like journaling, exercising, or learning something new. In these moments of solitude, you discover parts of yourself that you didn't know existed. You begin to appreciate your own company, realizing that you don't need external validation to feel whole. As you continue to focus on yourself, you notice that your life begins to align in unexpected ways. The right people start to enter your life, not because you sought their approval, but because your energy naturally attracts them. Opportunities that reflect your passions begin to appear, not because you chase them, but because you prepared yourself to receive them. You realize that when you are true to yourself, life responds in kind. Doors open effortlessly, and what once seemed out of reach now feels within your grasp, all because you had the courage to focus on your journey rather than someone else's. This journey also teaches you the importance of gratitude for where you are now, even if you haven't reached every goal yet. You understand that life isn't just about arriving at a destination. It's about enjoying the process along the way. You take pride in the person you are becoming, knowing that every small effort contributes to the bigger picture. Each day you choose to focus on yourself, you move closer to the version of you that you aspire to be. And that's something worth celebrating, even if no one else notices. You don't need applause. The quiet satisfaction of knowing you are growing is reward enough. One of the most profound realizations you gain from this journey is that focusing on yourself empowers you to give more to others too. When your own cup is full, you can pour into others without feeling depleted. You become a better friend, partner, and family member, not because you've molded yourself to meet their expectations, but because you show up authentically. Your presence becomes more meaningful because it comes from a place of love and wholeness rather than obligation. The connections you build become deeper, more genuine, and more fulfilling. There will always be people who seem to move faster or achieve more, but that no longer stirs insecurity within you. You've come to realize that life isn't a race. It's a personal journey with unique rhythms and flows. What others achieve is not your concern. What matters is that you are moving forward at a pace that feels right for you. Some seasons may be slower than others, and that's perfectly fine. What's important is that you stay true to yourself and continue making progress, however small it may seem. Every day you make the conscious choice to focus on yourself. You free yourself from unnecessary stress and comparison. You become more patient with the process and more compassionate toward yourself. You understand that life is not about perfection, but about progress. And that progress, no matter how gradual, is worth celebrating. You've realized that the most important investment you can make is in yourself, and that investment pays dividends in ways you never imagined. So, as you walk this path, keep reminding yourself that you are exactly where you need to be. Keep believing in your ability to grow, to learn, and to become better with each passing day. Trust the process, honor your pace, and stay focused on your journey. The world may be loud, and distractions will always exist, but you now have the clarity to tune them out. Your energy is too precious to waste on things that don't serve your growth. Stay committed to yourself, knowing that the life you are building is unfolding exactly as it should.